Rockets! Today we're going to read a fictional story about why evergreen trees keep their leaves. Remember that fiction means that this story is just pretend, it's made up. This isn't an informational text or a nonfiction book which teaches us scientific facts, although it would be really interesting to read one of those after. This book will be an imaginary story about why evergreen trees keep their leaves to protect a little red bird who's the main character of our story. As we read, we'll talk about what happens to little red bird and how she finds a place to stay warm for the winter. Let's get started. Why Evergreens Keep Their Leaves. Written by Anne-Marie Riley Guillertin. Illustrated by Helena Perez Garcia. One autumn evening, little redbird settled down for one last sleep before flying south for winter. So notice the book tells us that it's autumn, and I'm seeing that some of the leaves on this tree are starting to change. They're turning orange, a little bit brown. As little redbird slept, a strong gust of wind shook her from her cozy nest in the eaves of the barn. Little redbird tumbled out and fell onto the cold, hard ground. So little redbird has been blown out of her nest, and now she's falling. "Ouch!" she cried as she stretched out her wing. "I will not be able to fly south with this injured wing. How will I survive the long, harsh winter winds? Surely I will perish." So little redbird is feeling worried. It's autumn and it's getting colder and colder. She wanted to fly south for the winter where it's warmer, but with an injured wing, she won't be able to. She's worried. She says, "Surely I will perish," which means I might die if I don't find somewhere to get warm this winter. As the sun rose, little redbird spotted the tall, strong trees of the forest. She chirped with relief. So she's feeling relieved. She's feeling a bit better. Something good must be happening. One of those trees will make a fine home for the winter. Its leaves will shield me from the wind, and I shall build a new nest on a low, sturdy branch. That's a good plan. Little redbird says she'll find a tree to stay in for the winter. The leaves will protect her from the cold winds. She'll build a nice, cozy nest. Gathering all her strength, little redbird hopped and fluttered into the forest. The first tree she came upon was a silvery white birch. This is a birch tree here. "Beautiful birch tree," she said. "I have fallen and injured my wing. May I live in your warm branches until spring returns?" That's a good idea to ask. Let's see what the tree's going to say. "My goodness," said the birch. "It's hard enough for me to stand against the bitter winds. I can't be bothered trying to keep you safe as well. Now move along." Whoa, I'm surprised. That tree said no. Let's see what little redbird's going to do next. Little redbird fluttered on until she came to a large oak tree, another kind of tree. "Good morning, strong oak tree," little redbird called. "I have fallen and hurt my wing. May I live in your branches until spring returns?" Okay, so she asked another tree. I wonder what this tree's going to say. "Oh my!" exclaimed the oak tree. "If I let you stay in my branches, then you might ask me for some of my acorns. I work hard to make them, and I can't have you eating them all up. Go away. I have work to do before winter arrives." Whoa. Not only did this tree say no, but it wasn't very friendly about it. He said, you cannot live here and you can't eat any of my acorns. Go away." Oh man, I bet little redbird is feeling really disappointed. Let's see what she does next. So little redbird fluttered on until she came upon a hardy maple tree. "Hardy maple tree," little redbird cried. "I have fallen and injured my wing. May I live in your branches until spring returns? What do you think the maple tree will say? So far, 2 trees have said no. Oh, look at little redbird here. I'm worried this tree will say no too. No, he replied. I am too busy making sap for maple syrup. I have no time for little birds. Be on your way. Poor little redbird didn't know what to do. Tears as big as raindrops streamed down her cheeks. So she's feeling really sad, really disappointed, and probably really worried because she doesn't know how she's going to survive the cold winter without a place to live. Oh man, she doesn't know what to do. What do you think little redbird should do now? Little redbird, why are you crying? A voice called out. Please come here so I can help you. Little redbird looked up to see a smiling fir tree. This is a fir tree here with its needles and pine cones. She hopped over to him. Oh, fir tree, little redbird said, I have fallen and hurt my wing. I'm looking for a place to keep warm for winter, but I have no place to go. No place to go, he asked. Why, I have plenty of room in my branches if you'd like to stay with me. I will keep you safe and warm. Finally, a friendly tree. I'm feeling a lot better already. Little redbird has found a place to stay for the winter. Thank you, cried little redbird, but I don't have the strength to fly up to your branches. Worry no more, fir tree replied. I'm happy to help too, a voice called out. Standing tall beside the fir tree was a beautiful blue spruce. Wow, another friendly tree. It seems like little redbird's luck is turning around. My branches are strong. I will shield you from the cold north wind, he said. How kind of you, replied little redbird. So now little redbird has a place to live in the fir tree, and the spruce will protect her from the wind. I will care for you too, a lovely voice whispered through the pines. I may be small, but I make big, juicy berries all winter long, said the juniper tree. My berries will help heal you. Wow, so now little redbird has a place to live, protection from the wind, and things to eat. So little redbird built a warm nest inside the fir tree's branches and waited for winter's arrival. Not long afterward, the Frost Queen and her son Jack were out on an evening stroll through the forest. In this pretend story, they're the ones who make everything cold. Mother, may I touch the leaves on every tree in the forest? Jack asked. No, Jack, his mother replied. See those 3 trees? These are little redbird's friends, she said as she pointed. They were very kind to one of my precious birds who had an injured wing. They gave her a place to rest and food to eat. You may touch the leaves on every tree in the forest except for the fir, spruce, and juniper. They may keep their green leaves all year round, she replied, and they shall forevermore be called evergreen. So Jack gets to touch all of the leaves in the forest, making their leaves fall, except for these 3 green leaves. These 3 green trees, they get to stay green all year, and that's why they're now called evergreen. So it is said, because of their act of kindness, not only do the fir, spruce, and juniper trees get to keep their leaves in winter, but the redbirds stay all winter long to keep them company. The end. I hope you enjoyed our story, Why Evergreens Keep Their Leaves. Feeling so much more relieved and happy than I was at the beginning of the story when all the trees were saying no to little redbird. Like I mentioned before we started reading, it would be really interesting now to try and find a nonfiction book about why evergreen trees keep their leaves from a scientific standpoint. If you read a book about this or do some evergreen research on your own and want to let us know what you find, send me a message or post it on Seesaw. We'd love to learn from you. See you for our next story. Bye, Rockets.